One of these legends is running out of time. 8 matches, 16 teams, only one story survives the week. Messi isn't just playing to win anymore, he's playing not to lose it. Round of 16, win or go home. No replays, no group stage safety net. By Tuesday, 4 of these giants are already gone. Here's who.
8 cities, 8 execution grounds. Let's start with the ones nobody's talking about, the ones that'll blindside you. Canada versus Morocco. Squad value, Morocco at 380 million, Canada at 250 million. Numbers say experience wins. Hakimi's pace against a Canadian backline that's been shaky all tournament. Watch this matchup. My call, Morocco 2-1. En-Nesyri and Hakimi score, Jonathan David gets Canada's consolation. Morocco to advance at 68%. Now, the mismatch of the round. France have scored 3 goals in 5 straight World Cup games. Paraguay has one job: survive. This isn't a rivalry, it's a 15 times value gap. Paraguay already beat Germany on penalties to get here, but this is different. France, 88% to advance. I've got Mbappe with 2, Dembele with 1. Switzerland versus Colombia. 2 top 20 teams nobody's hyping enough. James Rodriguez still has that free kick, and Luis Diaz gives Colombia a gear Switzerland doesn't have. Colombia at 57% to advance. Diaz and James score, and Bolo keeps it close, but Switzerland's route ends in the last 16. And then there's the closest match on paper in the entire round, USA versus Belgium. USA's biggest problem? Their striker Balogun is suspended. Pulisic has to carry this attack alone. Belgium's golden generation is aging out, but De Bruyne to Lukaku has ended World Cups before. This is the one match I genuinely can't call clean. My read, 2-2, and Belgium survives on penalties.
Now the games that actually decide the tournament's shape. Brazil versus Norway is Holland against an entire nation of superstars. Brazil spreads the threat across 5 players. Norway has exactly 1, but he might be the best striker alive. Holland already has a hat-trick pace this tournament. If Brazil sleep on him even once, it's over. My call? Brazil 3-2 in a shootout of a different kind. Holland scores twice and it still isn't enough. Brazil at 65% to advance. Mexico versus England, the host nation's biggest test yet, at altitude in front of their own fans. Azteca sits over 7,000 feet up. England's fitness has to answer that before Kane can answer anything else.
Jimenez is in the form of his life. This is the closest game on the board not named USA-Belgium. England, 55% to advance. Kane and Bellingham combine. Jimenez keeps Mexico's hope alive to the final whistle, but not past it. And here's the story running under everything. Cristiano Ronaldo most likely playing his final World Cup match against the best young team in the world. Spain isn't just deeper than Portugal. They're younger, faster, and they've got the best teenager on the planet.
My call, Spain 2-1. Yamal and Pedri combine for the win. Ronaldo gets his goal, maybe his last World Cup goal ever, but it isn't enough. Spain at 63% to advance. If this is really the end for Ronaldo, it's going out against the best team in the tournament.
But wait, here's what the numbers don't show you. Portugal beat Spain in a Nations League final not long ago. Ronaldo has actually solved this matchup before. And Belgium's defense has been quietly falling apart all tournament. This 51% favorite tag might be generous. Home crowd, no pressure of expectation, nothing to lose. USA has upset recipes written all over this one. And don't forget, Morocco has done this whole underdog thing before. They made the semifinals last time. This group doesn't get rattled. So before we lock in the biggest match of the round, remember, 3 of these calls could flip in a heartbeat.
Which brings us to the one match everything else was building toward. Argentina versus Egypt, the defending champion against the biggest individual talent left in the bottom half of the bracket. On paper, this shouldn't be close. Argentina has 5 world-class attackers. Egypt has 1, but Salah has ended bigger favorites than this. Messi isn't just chasing a second straight title. He's chasing history nobody's touched since the 1960s. Alvarez and Martinez have been doing the heavy lifting. If Egypt sits deep, Argentina has 3 different ways to break them down. Salah will get his moment. He always does. But one moment isn't enough against this Argentina. My call? Argentina 3-1. Messi, Alvarez, and Martinez all get on the score sheet. Argentina at 81% to advance, the safest bet of the entire round. One step closer to back-to-back. Only Brazil in 1962 has ever done it. So here's the full board. Morocco, France, Brazil, England, Spain, Belgium, Argentina, Colombia. That's my round of 16. Tell me which one I got wrong. I already know at least one of these flips by Tuesday. Subscribe now. Quarterfinal predictions drop the second this round finishes. 8 matches down to 4. See you on the other side. Mexico just did something no Mexican team has ever done. A perfect group stage. 9 points out of 9. And one curse that refuses to die. Everyone calls Mexico the host. Almost nobody calls them a contender. Ranked 14th in the world, below teams that have already gone home. In 3 days, Mexico finds out if this is the year the curse finally breaks.
For the first time ever, a nation is hosting its third World Cup. Mexico, 1970, 1986, and now 2026. Coach Javier Aguirre came back for one final mission, and home advantage, he says, is priceless. Game 1. Mexico opens the tournament with a win over South Africa. But it wasn't clean. A slap, a red card, tempers boiling under the stadium lights. Then Mexico's own captain gets sent off in stoppage time with nothing left to play for. One careless foul, one suspension, one massive problem for the next match. Aguirre's captain Edson Alvarez has to drop back into defense, fresh off a rough club season. Game 2. Higher stakes. Win this, and Mexico controls its own destiny. A goalkeeping mistake. Mexico pounces. Luis Romo doesn't miss. And in the final minutes, goalkeeper Raul Rangel makes the save of the tournament to seal it. Mexico becomes the first team in the entire World Cup to clinch a spot in the knockout rounds. This squad is a generational bridge, a 40-year-old legend on his 6th World Cup appearance record. This really might be his last dance. And waiting in the wings, Rafael Marquez, already signed to take over the second this tournament ends. One game left in the group, and everyone's asking the same question. Is this team actually built different, or just getting lucky? Here's the real conflict. Mexico has never, not once, survived its 5th World Cup game. 7 World Cups, 7 exits at the exact same stage. Mexicans don't call it bad luck anymore. They call it a curse. El Quinto Partido. So the real fight isn't Mexico versus its next opponent. It's Mexico versus its own history. And the warning signs are already there. 2 red cards in one match. One of them, their own captain. Discipline has burned Mexico before. One reckless moment in a knockout game, and the whole tournament ends. Add the weight of being the host. 80,000 fans inside Azteca. Millions more watching at home. Aguirre said it himself. Home advantage is priceless. England proved it by winning at home. But Aguirre also knows they never did it again. Mexico's only quarterfinal appearances ever came when they hosted. Both times. No exceptions. Their breakout star is 17 years old. Brilliant on the ball, but completely untested under knockout pressure. Their most experienced player is 40. Calm under pressure.
Their best defensive partnership got broken up by a red card before it even had time to gel. Outside Mexico, the doubt is loud. Pundits call this a soft group, an inflated record, a false 9 wins. On paper, against the traditional giants, Mexico still looks small. And that's exactly why this is an underdog story. Even their own bench is mid-transition. Aguirre is already a lame duck. Marquez's contract is signed before the final whistle of this tournament even blows. Every player in that locker room has grown up hearing the same sentence.
Mexico always finds a way to lose the fifth game. So heading into the round of 32, Mexico isn't just facing an opponent. They're facing 32 years of doubt. The talent is real. The pressure is real.
And then Mexico answers every doubt the only way that matters. 3 goals, 0 conceded. With Montes suspended, Alvarez doesn't just fill in. He locks the defense down completely. Mexico finishes the group stage with a perfect record, first time in the country's history. Even Aguirre wouldn't reveal his hand, dodging questions about who'd start, keeping the mystery alive. And in a moment built for the highlight reels, the legend Ochoa gets his ovation, stepping onto the pitch one more time. Montes is back. The full-strength defense is finally whole, right before the knockout stage begins. The date is locked. June 30th, Estadio Azteca, the exact stadium where Mexico has barely ever lost. 9 games at this stadium, 7 wins, 2 draws, 0 losses. If home turf means anything, this is where it shows. The opponent is still a mystery. Scotland is the favorite to land here, but nothing is locked until the final whistle blows on group play. For the first time in years, Mexico walks into a knockout round rested, deep, and full of belief instead of fear. It almost feels like, for once, the story is shifting in Mexico's favor. This is it. The round of 32. The exact stage where this curse has never even gotten the chance to begin. Javier Aguirre walks out for what might be his last match ever as Mexico's coach. Gilberto Mora, 17 years old, about to play in the biggest match of his entire life. Guillermo Ochoa, 40 years old, guarding the net like it's his very last battlefield. Every single Mexican alive remembers exactly how this usually goes wrong. 7 ghosts are watching from above, waiting to see if history repeats or finally breaks. Cesar Montes is back with one job. Don't repeat the mistake that almost cost Mexico everything. One moment, one decision, one swing of momentum is all it takes to either break the curse or feed it. Win, and Mexico marches into the round of 16 with real momentum. At home, with history finally on their side. Lose, and it's the same headline Mexico has read for 32 straight years. This is why Mexico isn't just a host nation chasing a trophy. They're a nation trying to rewrite their own story. And on June 30th, the entire football world finds out if this really is the year the underdog finally bites back. So here's the real question. Can Mexico finally beat its own history? Or does the curse find a new way in? Drop your prediction in the comments right now. Win, lose, or penalty shootout heartbreak? I want to hear it. If you want the full breakdown the moment Mexico's opponent is confirmed, subscribe. I'll have it before the kickoff whistle. Smash that like button if you think this is the squad that finally ends El Quinto Partido. Next video drops the second we know who Mexico is actually facing. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. June 30th, Estadio Azteca. The 5th game starts now.